Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
And welcome back to the Skating Penguin Network, everyone. It is Free Agent Frenzy. It is Robbie here again with Snail out in Seattle. Snail is feeling a little under the weather, so if he sounds a little bit off, it's because he's got something going on upstairs that he's been feeling it. But Snail, how are we doing? I know you're not feeling good. We delayed this yesterday, but you're day to day still, but you're gonna put on the skates and get here in their studio with us for this one.
Yeah, exactly. I probably should take another day or two off, but too much to cover, man. It's been an exciting. I mean, I don't know if exciting is the word. There's been a lot of movement in the league, and the Penguins. Kyle Dubas has been moving and shaking, so I figured we should. I'll just suit up for this one, and we'll talk about some of the activity that's been going on in the league.
And there has been a lot of activity in Pittsburgh and outside as well. The Penguins have approximately 10 defensemen on the roster now that they have to sort through, but just running through these moves real quick, not too many big names, some names you'll be familiar with. Obviously, we have Matt Grzelcyk, who played for the Boston Bruins, a defenseman. He comes to Pittsburgh on a one-year deal. Another familiar name, Anthony Beauvillier, comes to Pittsburgh, a depth forward there. We have Emil Benstrom is coming back to Pittsburgh. Blake Lizotte, who most people said was maybe their best move of the day, looking to be another a 4C, 3C type addition, comes over. They re-sign They re-sign Ryan Shea to a contract. Ryan Shea was a waiver pickup last year, if you remember. P.O. Joseph was not retained. He, I believe, is signing a deal in St. Louis where he will join his brother, who was traded there from Ottawa on Tuesday. And the Penguins signed their biggest signing, obviously, Sebastian Aho. Unfortunately, not the one that you think it is. It is the defenseman from Sweden. He played for the Islanders. He is the Aho the Penguins are getting. Again, the Penguins have about 1 million defensemen on this roster right now. I don't know what's going to happen, how they're going to sort through this, but we'll talk about that more in a second. And then in trade news, they finally do find a taker for Riley Smith. The Rangers, of all teams, take Riley Smith. The Penguins retain 25% for this season on the contract, but that does open up a big chunk of cap space for the Penguins, and they get a guy who just did not work in Pittsburgh off the books. Riley Smith heads to the Rangers. The Rangers are kind of going through their own kind of feelings right now, having a very odd start to free agency here, but they get a second and a fifth round pick for Riley Smith after giving up a third for him last year. So a little bit of an improvement on what they got back there. But other than that, Snell, no big headlining names for the Penguins, just a bunch of depth. Maybe not all of it good. Again, it's going to be a lot to sort through here. There's a lot of bodies on this roster right now. There's still a lot of work to do. As I said, it's only July 2nd that we're recording this. But what are the overall feelings after the first 2 days of NHL free agency here in Pittsburgh?
Well, they got younger.
Not by a whole lot, but yes, they did get younger.
I think that.
Oh, and they traded for Kevin Hayes.
That was before
that was at the draft.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Sorry. They traded for Kevin Hayes, and if you're paying attention to draft stuff at all, the Penguins didn't have a lot of draft capital, but from everything I've read from the draft experts, they think the Penguins knocked this draft out of the park.
Yeah, that is his name, Tanner Howe.
Yeah,
Howe.
Yeah, he was one of the first two picks that they got.
I thought that was a great pick by them. You look at what he was putting up. Was he with the Regina Pats in the dub?
Let's see.
This is horrible journalism, but
Yeah.
anyway, yeah,
I
I
wasn't
think
really
he was
planning
with.
on talking draft until I brought up Kevin Hayes, and then kind of threw us offline there. But Kevin Hayes is kind of an important addition to all this as well.
Yeah, Kevin Hayes, that one puzzled me a little bit. The one thing that I know about Kevin Hayes is he's a great locker room guy, and I think
Yeah.
maybe he will bring this team. There's the core in place, and then you've got a lot of, as you've seen from what Dubas just did, he signed a lot of just kind of guys. We can get into, I think Blake Lizotte, he was their best pickup by far. I think that guy kind of cut from the same cloth as like a Yanni Gord or a Tanev, kind of a buzzsaw out there. I think he's only like 5'8", so for a little guy, I think he really buzzes around out there and creates a lot of energy. I think like I was saying, the Penguins, Dubas signed a lot of guys, and I think you're going to need somebody that can really be Sidney Crosby's Sidney Crosby, but Kevin Hayes has a little bit more of that, I don't know, locker room guy kind of quality. I like the pickup. I just, Kevin Hayes is had his, he hasn't been like what he was projected to be when he was in New York. He got signed to that massive contract in Philly. Him and Torts did not see eye to eye. I thought St. Louis might have been his last stop, but no, Kyle Dubas takes a flyer on him and pick him up for essentially for free. They said future considerations. I think that just means free now.
Yeah, unless they send over like some low level prospect down in the future, but
An Uber Eats gift card.
Yeah. Whatever popular restaurant out in St. Louis, they just send them like a $500 gift card or something like that.
But Robbie, like, I feel like the middle six to the middle through the bottom six, there's so many options, and like I don't know how they're going to. I mean, you've got Puustinen, you've got Puljujarvi, you've got Eller, you've got Hayes, you've got Achari, you've got Lizotte, you've got who else did they pick up? Beauvillier. Beauvillier was like a top six guy for the Islanders, and then he kind of fell out of favor in that. I think he was more of a middle six guy, and then I think he went to like Vancouver for a quick stop, and then Nashville,
he's bounced around a little bit.
Now he's kind of bounced around a bit. I think he kind of had a couple of big moments against the Penguins in prior years, but dude, that middle six to bottom six is puzzling because it's like, well, what's the identity? Like, are they going to be? I know that they always preach fast. The Penguins are a fast club, but they're not as fast as they used to be, and we've all learned that fast doesn't always mean that their hockey smarts are fast. You want guys that can think the game quick, and that's like Gensel, that's like Sherry, kind of high hockey IQ guys. I don't know. It's where are you at with that? Like, what do you think that the kind of they have a lot of work still ahead of them to whittle down what this roster kind of will look like, even just opening night?
Yeah, it's a log jam kind of all over the place here right now, and that includes. I mean, the blue line is just. I mean, I thought the blue line was pretty much. I don't want to say set in stone because you never say that until it's done and actually announced. But like, you have Letang, Graves, Pettersson, Carlson, and I really thought the bottom six was going to be some mix of John Ludwig, Jack St. Ivany, who they didn't give him that 3-year deal just to have him down in the minor league. Jack St. Ivany is clearly going to be an NHL player in their future plans. And then all of a sudden now you get Matt Grzelcyk, Sebastian Aho, just this entire like logjam, and then you bring back Ryan Shea as well. You have like 9 guys there now. So I don't know how this all sorts out going forward exactly. Up front, obviously, you have Crosby and Malkin. You kind of know what your top Raquel, O'Connor. There was word to Josh Yohe tweeted today that they have talked to Vladimir Tarasenko, a name to keep an eye on as well, depending on what happens there. And then after that, you have to kind of look at your bottom six. You have Kevin Hayes, you have Lizotte, you have Noel Acciari, you have Matt Nieto, you have all these guys, these depth pieces. So it just kind of, I don't want to say baffling. I don't think it's, I mean, right now is when you want to have these log jams to sort out and see what moves you can still make and what moves are out there on the table. But a lot of just
not to mention you still got Sam Poulin that's been waiting
you
in
have,
the weeds for years.
You have Sam Poulin down there. You have, I mean, what's the status on Braden Yeager? What are the plans for him? Obviously, it's going to have to be a discussion at some point. We'll get a look at some of these guys this weekend at prospect camp, so that'll be especially the younger guys, not some of these signings they made, but guys like Yeager and some of the guys they just drafted. But I mean, there's a lot of just bodies on this roster right now, and it's kind of crazy to think about. Like, it feels like it's more than really there's ever been. In reality, it's just Beauvillier, a left winger, Hayes, a right winger but can play center, Blake Lizotte is center. A lot of people in not a lot of positions or not a lot of open spots. So I'm just interested to see what the rest of the plan is going forward these next couple weeks as we work our way later into the summer.
I got two things that just came to my mind as you were talking, and one of those things is, as of right now where the roster sits, who is most likely in your mind to be on Malkin's wing replacing Riley Smith's spot? Because assuming it's going to be Raquel on the right again.
Well, it would have to be Bunting then.
Oh, I forgot Bunting. I totally forgot about that. It would be Bunting.
Him and Bunting had so much chemistry, and he completely re-energized Malkin after he came over the trade deadline. I'm sticking Bunting next to Malkin to start the season. I feel like that's a pretty.
I completely forgot about Bunting.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, like, is there a world you think where, Dubas signed like you said, 3 one-way contracts, and then he signed that one guy, Boko Imama, who's just an absolute goon, and then this defenseman Mac Hollowell. I think he might have been a Sault Ste. Marie guy. 105 points in 188 games in the AHL, 44 points in 64 games. That's not bad.
No.
Nathan Klerman, another one that a lot of people said that they just about shat themselves when they saw a Colorado Avalanche jersey and Nathan in the first name. Jimmy Huntington, who just won the Calder Cup with the Hershey Bears back-to-back years. Is there a world where he's making all these signings because there's a bigger deal to be made? Like,
that wouldn't surprise me in the least bit.
If you kind of have some of these guys that are fringe NHLers, depth pieces, especially a guy like that Mac Hollowell, and I don't know, those, like, I could see Dubas acquiring all these pieces, and then if there's a bigger trade to be made, this is just assets,
Yeah, I mean, you have guys out there. I mean, one guy that's name has not been announced yet and is apparently still a free agent is Jack Roslovic, the guy that we've talked about on the podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know what his situation is. A bunch of dudes are still out here, kind of waiting to be signed, I guess, to see how the chips fall. But I don't know what the ultimate plan is. Is there another trade in the works? Again, that Carlson trade last year didn't come until like August 1st or something like that. We waited a whole month for that to come down the pipeline. So is there something in the works for like a guy like Raquel, or again, the trade pieces up front aren't exactly sticking out. I mean, Jari, we talked about. What's the situation there? It sounds like they were listening to offers, but there was no takers. It's very early in the offseason, and sometimes those bigger contracts are tougher to move. Well, they are tougher to move. There's no doubt about that, especially when there's term. Riley Smith only has a year left. They retained a little bit, got some draft capital back for the future, but it'll be interesting to see what could possibly still be in the pipeline as we move through the summer here, because there's got to be, I feel like there's something somewhere that has to be done because there's too many bodies on this roster right now.
Where are you at with this rumor of them offering Tarasenko pretty much all the shekels they have left?
Honestly, the dude still has something in the tank. I think he showed. And if you want to take a flyer, that's the kind of guy you take a flyer on. He's only 32. If it doesn't work out and the Penguins stumble again, he's going to bring a return at the trade deadline at the very least. I would not hate it. I think you could get him for a decent price. I think they said $4 million. Again, that would obviously probably open up the door to another move as well. But I don't hate that idea because mostly if it doesn't work out, you trade him. If it does, you're a playoff team. Is how I see it.
I love Tarasenko in his early years in St. Louis. He's just this massive dude with a he's a sniper. Mm-hmm. And I've been saying this probably since like 2019. Like, get Malkin a Russian winger. Like, get him like a fellow countryman, and they can just go be bullies out there and argue with each other about passing the puck. Like, it's someone to hype him up, someone to put a little burr in his saddle. And I was trying to find, is there any sort of history in the relationship with, like, we know Malkin is friends with, like, Ovi and Kovalchuk and Kuznetsov. Does he have any friends? Like, is he friends with Tarasenko or anything like that? Do you have any pull?
I've never seen anything. There is a pretty significant age gap between those two guys. He'll only be 33 in December. Malkin is approaching 40. So there is a decent age gap between them. I've never seen anything that stuck out to me that they are. I'm sure they have met. Obviously, the Russians do have, in the NHL, do have a connection. They definitely do have that pull together. But nothing that I've seen that would be that they are close.
Oh, actually, I pulled a little nugget. There was an interview done by, I don't even know what, the Hockey Writers. This is in 2015. Evgeny Malkin opens up in Russian interview, and it says, "Are you surprised by Tarasenko's season? He can score 40 this season." He said, "Not at all, blah, blah, blah." And it says, "Do you know him well?" And he said, "Unfortunately, not. Vladimir's 5 years younger than me. I met him only at the Olympics in Sochi, where we played together. We don't talk much together. We don't have dinners together, but you can see right away that what a great guy he is. Not only a great player, but also a very humble and good person. I wish him good luck. He deserves it. I noticed the Blues coach, Ken Hitchcock, trusts him more. This is why he's now much more confident, plays better. A guy like him truly deserved to play at the All-Star game." So, nothing but kind words to a fellow countryman. I'd love to see Tarasenko in a Pittsburgh. That's such a Penguins move too. You go out and you get kind of like a little bit of an aging superstar. It reminds me of like a Ginla, a little bit of Kessel. How old was Kessel when he came over? Was he like 30? Was he 30?
Yeah, I think he was just 30 when he came over. He wasn't very old. But again, he's one of those guys that felt like had been around for generally ever. By the time
he'd been well established for a long time.
Yeah, he came over in 15. He was 87. He was only 28 when he came over.
Oh shit. Okay.
28 or not even 20. He would have been 28. No, he came over in 15. He would have been turning 28 that October, so he was actually only 27. But again, felt like he had been in the NHL for like a decade at that point. But
a Tarasenko Bunting Malkin line might be super super lethal.
Yeah, I mean Bunting is the kind of guy that you know what the game he plays. He could absolutely come over and be just an absolute menace and create chances for a sniper like Tarasenko or a playmaker like Malkin.
What did you think about the Boko Imama signing? He's an enforcer. He's a, I don't want to call him a goon, but that's what he is. His role is. I think he fights a lot in the AHL.
Yeah, I saw that signing, and I didn't know anything about the dude. Where did he play before?
So I just remember him in Arizona.
Oh, okay.
And then I think let me see here. 27-year-old winger, 6'1", 220 pounds, drafted by Tampa Bay in 15, and he's played just 15 NHL games between Arizona and Ottawa. So.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, he's definitely going to be it seems like a AHL guy, unless they decide that they need some muscle for a stint up in the AHL. So
maybe bring him up when they play the Caps.
Yeah. All right. So in other Penguins news, they will open the season on October 9th in Pittsburgh. The full schedule was released earlier on Tuesday. Like I said, October 9th they open in Pittsburgh against the New York Rangers. The very next night they travel to Detroit, where they will play as part of the Red Wings home opener. October is a lot of road trips. The fabled Western Canada trip starts October 20th, goes from Winnipeg to Calgary to Edmonton to Vancouver.
January 25th, they're in Seattle.
Yep, so Snail, get your tickets now. They play the Utah franchise for the first time on November 23rd at home.
Dude, that Utah team might be good.
They might be. I mean, again, they're not starting it from an expansion. They definitely, and again, Arizona was not an awful team last year. Arizona showed some progress and some growth.
Would Arizona have gone out and got Mikhail Sergachev? Or as I like to call him,
No.
Snail Sergachev?
No.
No, I don't think they would have.
No.
I don't think they would have gotten him. And then who was the other signing they had? They had picked up another pretty decent...
I can't remember exactly.
I'll look it up, but yeah.
They do have a 7-game road trip in January that goes from Buffalo to Washington. Then they go out to California to LA and Anaheim. And then they jump up from Anaheim. They jump up to Seattle. And then they jump back down to San Jose. And then they wrap it up with their inaugural road game against Utah on January 29th. And then obviously they do get a 2-week break for the Four Nations tournament. The players that aren't participating in that. I will say, going through the Penguin schedule here, they have the logos, and it's really nice to see the updated Anaheim and updated LA Kings retro but new modern logos. So very much nicer than the old logos those teams used. It's good to see them going back to a more nostalgic look full time.
I agree. Let's just go back to nostalgia. I don't know. What do you think about the Ducks rebrand?
I like it. I thought it was going to be too much orange, but and again, I'm a sucker for the actual Anaheim Mighty Ducks color scheme.
Me too.
But just getting that logo back and kind of leaning into the orange and just getting rid of that god awful logo and word font that they had, is anything would have been an upgrade. And it's just, I like it, and I love the Kings as well.
I agree. I think the Utah Hockey Club thing I was talking about, they got a couple of depth guys, former Penguin Ian Cole, Kevin Stenlund. Did Kevin Connaughton play for the Penguins?
If he did, it was very brief.
Yeah. And then I think the one guy they got Iggy's kid.
They did. Yes, they did draft Tija Ginla. That is correct.
That's what I was thinking of.
It would be very interesting to see that development as well.
Have you ever been on the side of like wanting the Penguins to go to their like 70s jerseys full time?
The blue?
Yeah.
Not full time. I'm so stuck on the black and yellow. That's kind of a part of Pittsburgh, and no, I don't mind them as a throwback, but not as a full time uniform.
Kind of seeing the Utah Hockey Club's color scheme. Sometimes I'm like, the Penguins had that first kind of. I think
they did.
It made me a little bit. They should go back to those. But didn't Sid get like a concussion in those jerseys or something?
No, the 2011, the darker blue ones, not the baby blue ones, but.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
All right, stepping away from the Penguins and getting to the rest of the NHL here, good friend Jake Gensel has a new home, signs a mega extension a new contract with the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning had quite an interesting
boy. They're going to write a book about this.
Yes. So the Tampa Bay Lightning, they trade for Jake Gensel's rights from Carolina. They signed Jake Gensel. All well and good.
7x9, right? 9x7.
Yes. 7x9.
Nuts.
Yeah, a lot of money, but again, 40-goal scorer, proven. He's going to fit in that system well. Good for Jake for getting bank. Enjoy your tax-free paycheck in Florida. That is just like the tip of the iceberg when dealing with Tampa Bay here.
They signed Hedman to a 4x8.
They signed franchise icon Victor Hedman to a 4x8 extension. No way they let us franchise icon just walk for nothing. Wait. Steven Stamkos has left the Tampa Bay Lightning. We'll talk about where he went in a second because the team he went to had an entire day as well. But Stamkos leaves. The captain is gone. He's gone. He is one of their best players. Probably their best player ever.
He's their Sidney Crosby.
Yeah. He was a franchise icon, 2 cups, goal-scoring titles, out the door. They trade, as you said, Mikhail Sergachev is traded to Utah. Earlier this offseason, they brought in Ryan McDonough.
Signed Cam Atkinson.
Atkinson. Just a big change coming in Tampa. And that'll take us now to Nashville.
They won, I think.
Nashville went, Barry Trotz opened up the bank and was just slinging money all over the place. They bring in Steven Stamkos. Big goal scorer, big right-handed shot. They go out and they bring in one of the misfits from Vegas, the 2023 Conn Smythe winner, Jonathan Marchessault, is now in Nashville. What else? Predators were just absolutely out of control.
They signed Brady Shea to a healthy contract.
Yes, they got Brady Shea.
Offensive defenseman.
Yes, Brady Shea on a massive contract. Why are they not showing up on Cap Friendly? Where's Nashville? They're there.
Didn't Washington make it so we can't look at it?
No, I think we have until July 5th. They signed UC Saros, the extension there. That was, I think we talked about that last week. They bring in Scott Wedgwood as his backup, solid backup. Nothing really to complain about there. They already have Philip Forsberg. They already have Ryan O'Reilly. They have a lot of talent there already. I don't see how you could see this as anything other than all in by this team. I don't know how much I trust John Hines to be the one that gets them there, but he's given the weapons. So, I mean, you got Marchessault, proven performer. Steven Stamkos, obviously a proven performer. Health has to matter there a little bit.
With Stammer.
Yes, you know what you're getting with those guys. So it's all about just making it all work now. They're definitely, they had a down year. They made the playoffs, but it took a otherworldly winning streak for them to get there. They ended up losing they lost in the first round. Yeah, they lost in the first round of Vancouver anyway, but they're gearing up for a big run. You already have Yossi. You have basically everything you need to make a run.
You've got Forsberg. You've got Ryan O'Reilly.
Yep. Yeah, so a big performance on trade or free agency opening day from the Nashville Predators. It's going to be very interesting to see how that all works out. In Edmonton, Edmonton gets Jeff Skinner on a 1-year, $3 million deal after he was bought out by the Buffalo Sabres. I like that. I actually like that deal for both parties there. Tyler Toffoli goes to San Jose. Believe mostly to be hey, Macklin, skip your next year of college and just come play the NHL right now. Still not going to be a good team, but they're trying to do what they can to convince Macklin Celebrini to come skip out on college and come play in the NHL. One move that I really liked, and it's a savvy move, and one that I wish the Penguins would have looked into, Anthony Duclair going to the New York Islanders on a 4-year deal.
Yeah.
He finally gets a contract that's more than just a 1-year deal. I really thought he was going to end up in one of the Florida teams because it just seems to be where he ends up is playing hockey in Florida. But he signs a 4-year deal with the Islanders. I think it's a good deal for both sides to get there. Max Domi gets a long-term deal in Toronto. Tyler Bertuzzi gets a long-term deal as well. Just a lot of not again. It wasn't a huge pool to work from this year, but yeah, I like some of the business that was done as much as I don't like giving other teams all the credit in the world. But overall, I think a lot of good work from teams across the board. The Hurricanes don't do anything big free agent wise, but they do get Jacob Slavin under contract for 8 years. Big deal there.
Jersey had pretty big free agency. Pesci, Dillon.
Yep.
That kind of, and they already got Dougie Hamilton there. So
yeah, the Panthers got Brandon Montour went to Seattle.
Yep.
Sam Reinhart stays in Florida. He signs a monster 8-year deal to stay in Florida. But Montour does exit and heads up to Snail's neck of the woods up in Seattle. But
kind of overpaid for him, I think. 7-1 something.
Sometimes you have to when you're bidding against other teams, unfortunately. But a lot of good business across the NHL yesterday. No guarantee any of it works. So who were your winners?
I mean, it's Nashville by a landslide.
Yeah.
I can't believe Tampa let Stamkos walk like that.
Like, honestly, that's one that really shocked because, again, I always figured they were just going to get a deal done. But when they traded for Gensel, that kind of made me think, like, I mean, if they're serious about Gensel, I don't see a way that they can make it work with Gensel getting $9 million and then Stamkos he got $8 million. So you had to think that he wanted something like that as well. So
didn't they offer him like 8 years, $3 million a year or something crazy?
It was something stupid. It was a very weird. Yeah, they offered him like basically into his 40s, but only making like $24 million total. It was a very
kind of insulting
odd contract.
If you're Stamkos,
and again, a guy that's given his entire career, could have left years ago, could have gone home to Toronto, but hung around. And
I mean, he scored 40 goals last year.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. He was over a point per game. And so now it's very bizarre.
Who was your winner for the for the free agency?
One was definitely Nashville. Obviously, but that feels like a kind of a cheap out. I liked what Utah did, getting a guy like Sergachev. I don't think that they're obviously going to. I think they could very well be a bubble team next year. I don't think. Again, I'm not going to put them in the top echelon of, especially out west. But I think Utah made a move that they don't need to go out to be a bubble team. They didn't need to go out and spend big bucks. Again, they want to make a good impression their first year in Utah. Obviously, getting a guy like Sergachev, who has Stanley Cup pedigree, who's still very good, is big for them. So good on Utah for going out and getting that done. I think Tampa's a winner, even though they let Stamkos go. Getting that Hedman deal done and then getting your Stamkos replacement, a younger 40-goal scorer. I mean, a playoff performer. As much as I love Jake Gensel in Pittsburgh, obviously getting Tampa's maybe one of the more palatable options. It doesn't go to a Metro team. So that's just kind of what we have to live with. But there are worse places for him to go, but good for getting paid and well-earned on his end. From a loser perspective, the Rangers, I have no idea what's going on in New York. They're in a fit with Jacob Trouba, who apparently will not waive his no trade clause, no movement clause, and said that he won't report to another team if he's traded. Very bizarre situation going on there. The only piece they really added was Riley Smith. And I'm not sure what's going on with the Weiser plan in Detroit.
Yeah. What happened to that whole thing?
I don't know. I don't know what you had all this momentum after almost making the playoffs, and it feels like
they also trade
nothing.
They've traded so many of their prospects.
Like
Tyler Bertuzzi, wasn't he a part of the Iser plan? Like wasn't he like an original piece?
I thought he was.
I thought him and like Anthony Mantha were, and then they've been gone forever, and then they got that Verona in that trade, and then he wasn't a part of it, and then it was like that Jacob Wallman who does the gritty all the time was a part of it. That Roenick dude they traded to Vancouver was a part of it.
Yeah.
The list kind of goes on. There's a bunch. There's a guy that they traded to Philip Zadina. They traded him to San Jose. It's just kind of weird. Like Yzerman's just getting all these draft picks, and he's pretty much just like trash. Yeah. I mean, they have that. Who's that big defenseman they have? That right shot kid, Moritz Seider.
Moritz Seider. Yeah,
that dude. Like, okay, that he's gonna be good. And then they got this Simon Edvinsson kid that's on his way. But now they're just like, I mean, they're signing Kane to 1-year deals.
And then very bizarre.
Andrew Kopp.
Yeah, very
Dylan Larkin.
Yeah, Larkin's obviously their captain. Like he's
Mr. Michigan, right? He's played for like every Michigan team or something, and it's weird. Didn't Dylan Larkin? He played with Zetterberg.
Yeah, wait, who's that?
Larkin.
Larkin's another guy that's he's gonna be like 30 and feel like he's been around for 15 years.
Yeah.
Larkin, he might have played with Datsuk too, I think.
He did. I think that year he played with Datsuk and Zetterberg, which is that was his rookie year, but pretty weird to think about. It feels like that's too long
another
ago.
team that I'm not sure if it'll work out. I don't say I necessarily hate the moves. I just don't know if they'll work out. It is Boston getting Nikita Zadorov, which is just a big body. I mean, not a bad. I don't think it's bad. I just don't know kind of what the plan is totally. But they also paid what I think was too much money for Elias Lindholm. But again, if they're trying to get tougher to play against, those are two guys that will make it so. I just don't. If it doesn't work out, it looks ugly. If it does, you look like a genius.
Besides Pasternak and Marchand, I mean, is there anybody on that team? And McAvoy, is there anyone that really moves the needle?
Not now. I mean, Dubrovska's gone.
Yeah.
Seattle gave Chandler Stevenson 7 years.
Okay, yeah, I don't even know about that whole thing. Just another like middle six. Like they don't want to commit to any top 6 players. They just want like middle 6 guys throughout their whole lineup.
Yeah, they just want to make an entire team out of middle 6 guys. Which
okay,
you can win games like that, and it'll probably get you to the playoffs. But it's not going to get you anywhere once you get to the playoffs because you need an elite scorer in the playoffs. Like Chandler Stevenson, 6 years, over $6 million a year is some insane work. So I mean, good for Chandler Stevenson for getting that bang. Like, never hate a guy for getting paid. But that is just that's like outrageous to even read that.
I think Seattle's really banking on that Shane Wright kid to just like blossom into a game breaker, and he's good in the AHL. Like he's going to be a decent player, but I always go back to like I think I've talked about this on here before. Can he be Tyler Bozak? Can your prospect have a career like Tyler Bozak?
I mean, at some point he has to do it, doesn't he?
I mean,
at some point he's got to crack or get off the pot.
Yeah, but I just think that it's like I don't know if he's going to be. Like, I think my predictions for him was like a third liner. Like maybe he would be like a Tyler Bozak, like really literally. But I don't know. I just don't know if Shane Wright's gonna come up to the NHL and absolutely light it ablaze. I don't think he's kind of a playmaker. I don't think he's really. Matty Beniers is a good first line center, but not a game breaking goal scorer. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you.
I thought that there was a lot of opportunities for them to pick up some goal scorers. I thought a guy like Tarasenko, Gensel. I even thought about that Cam Atkinson. I mean, Cam Atkinson isn't what he used to be, but even just a guy like him on a wing could get you maybe 20 goals.
Yeah.
help you on the power play. Who else was I thinking of that got Marcia? So I mean,
Yeah, that was yeah. I mean, Vegas. I mean, when Vegas is done with you, they really just throw you to the side, which is a brutal way to do business. But hockey is a brutal business. It was kind of crazy to see that too.
I was wondering if Dubas sniffed around at all in Marcia. So
I don't know. He came off the board pretty quick.
he did. I think you would have had to have moved Raquel in some sort of salary
Yeah,
dump
probably because
move.
he made. I mean, again, him and Stamkos both got. Um, I mean, Marchessault got 5.5, so that would have been roughly um, Raquel's contract. So because Raquel's getting 5, so yeah, it would have been a little bit more. But if you could have got that contract off the books, you probably could have made it happen. But what's done is
But
done.
what's done is done, and that's the way it goes. So I don't
That
know.
is.
Where are you at with the Penguins? Like overall, like where are you at with Dubas's signings and moves?
I mean, there are just so many, just so much depth. It just is that depth going to work, and that's really for me what it all comes down to. It didn't work last year. Some guys were better than others. Lars Eller was obviously a really solid player. Noah Chara, we never really got to see much. If they can move Achari to a wing, I think it could be, it could work out. If Hayes works out as a 4C or the Zott works out as a 4C, then yeah, that's great. Again, it's all comes down to can any of these dudes finish? That's what it all comes down to because that's the Penguins. The Penguins can create scoring chances; they just can't actually score. So, um, overall, I guess it's until I see it on the ice, I can't really say if it's good or not. There's no big flashy signing, no big name, no Marchessault, no Stamkos, no huge, huge name. So nothing really to write home about other than let's wait and see and what happens when the puck drops in October.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it'll take a while for them to whittle down what this roster will look like. I'm curious about that Kevin Hayes signing because I don't have his numbers in front of me or anything, but he's had flashes of being good at times. He was a great college hockey player. He was pretty good in New York. I think he's like a typical kind of like scoring third line center type guy. I just don't know if he's got the what it takes to be a fourth line guy. Like I don't think his defensive numbers are atrocious. I do know that. Not a guy that is really effective on the back check, if he even does back check. I'm just curious, what does that is the plan for him to be a third liner, like a scoring third liner, kind of on the and you put him on the wing, or is Lars Zeller's moving to fourth line C now that Carter's gone? I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll have
Yeah.
to see, but some of it's puzzling. Is kind of my point. I guess it'll be interesting to see where things kind of how things kind of get whittled down here, and some of these guys are destined to just be in the AHL. I know Dubas has made that a big point of his, since he got
Yeah,
hired.
he did the same thing last year. Yeah, he did the same thing last year.
I mean, I think at the end of the year last year they had like Hinostroza and
Yeah.
what's his name, that Colin White.
Yeah.
The new Colin White, not the old Colin White, playing in Wilkes-Barre, trying to make a playoff push. So I'd assume that's probably going to be the fate for a bunch of these guys.
Yeah, he made a lot of those exact same moves last year. So it'll be interesting to see if he can what the plan is. Again, most of those guys that were AHL signings last year did play a chunk of games in the NHL, so we're probably going to see these guys at some point. It's just, wait and see with those guys as well. Those are all basically lottery tickets.
So I saw no one's I guess you could call these guys free agents technically still, but no one's made a move on them yet, and that's Quenneville and Stan Bowman reinstated into the NHL.
Yeah, Stan Bowman sounds like he could be headed to
Edmonton, right?
Edmonton. As for Quenneville, your guess is as good as mine there.
Would you take him as a power play coach?
I don't think I don't think he is looking for an assistant job.
Well, I mean, no, but he's trying to, he needs to really kind of suck up here and get in the good graces of the league. What better place to, kind of ease his way back in than alongside Mike Sullivan as the power play coach?
Yeah, apparently Dan Quinn, or David Quinn, is going to be the power play coach. So
San Jose didn't have the worst power play last year.
No, that's like the power play, especially in the second half of the season, was actually really good. So I mean, fingers crossed that. I mean, literally, can it be worse in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I think it could. I think there is room for it to be worse, but I think that Quinn, the roster that he had, and if he was in charge of that power play there and could get that power play cooking at times, I think that he should have no problem. Hopefully the Penguins, I wouldn't mind if they just lived off their power play next year. You know what I mean? Like, I would take
That'd
that.
be great.
I would take that over just trying to scrape by with 5-on-5 scoring again.
I'd absolutely love that. Yeah. Well, you can't scrape by with just 5. The Penguins tried that this year and it didn't work.
That's what I mean. Like, it was painful. You're just hoping for them someone to just somehow get a puck over the goal line on 5-on-5, and you know that they were going to probably give up a shorthanded goal, and then it was they were going to pull the goalie, and hopefully a puck goes off someone's ass, and they end up. Yeah, I would love next year if maybe they were just power play merchants.
That'd be great. Power play merchants with decent 5-on-5 finishing. Hey, we'll see you in April then, baby.
Are the Penguins a playoff team next year?
I'll say it, I'll put it down right now. If the power play's fixed, they're a playoff team. But they can't feast on just being 5-on-5 merchants. It's just not going to work.
No.
Nope. Not even if these depth guys find scoring. The power play has to be. Again, they would have been in the playoffs last year if it was just marginally better. I mean, that was
30. Wasn't it like if it was even like 30% better, they'd probably have been in the playoffs?
Yeah, they probably would have been in the playoffs. There's so many games they lost by one goal or had a chance to put a kill shot in to get a win, and they couldn't do it. So, absolutely, if the power play is marginally improved, even like you said, 30% better, Penguins are in the playoffs next year.
Does Washington scare you at all with what they did?
I need to see a full season. I need to see Charlie Lindgren prove that he's a full-time starter.
That's a good point. I think because I saw some of their signings, and I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit like, ooh, they're really making a statement. They want to be better. Who did they add up front? I know that they added Chikrin, and they added somebody else too that made me nervous. Let me look it up quick. All right, so they got Matt Roy.
Okay.
And they got Logan Thompson, the goalie.
That's right. Yep.
And they got, let's see here, Jacob Chikrin, we know that. I thought they maybe got Logan Thompson's a good goalie. I mean, he seemed good in Vegas. I thought they got a forward that I kind of was like, oh, geez, another. Oh, I mean, Pierre-Luc Dubois. Never mind. I'm not.
Yeah, they traded Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Unless he becomes an absolute prick and has Tom Wilson on his wing and he decides to play like a prick, then maybe watch out. But I don't know, man. They
still
scare
questions.
me a little bit.
Yeah, still questions.
I don't know if Ovi's gonna. I don't know if Ovi. This might age like milk, but like Ovi might score 5 goals next year. Have you seen what he looks like right now?
No, I haven't seen any pictures. Does he look a little out of shape?
Oh, so out of, like all that dude's been eating is pasta since the season ended.
Pasta just not working out.
Just not working out. I'm gonna see if I can find a photo of him here, but there's one of them is of him playing pickleball and another one is of him on the beach. No definition whatsoever. Like barrel gut.
Oh jeez.
So what I saw, I was just like, that dude. I mean, Phil Kessel was able to score 30 to 40 a year with that body that he had, But what I saw of Ovechkin was I'd be alarmed if I was a Caps fan, because that was, I mean, he's just got the white hair and just a massive dad bod. I don't even think you call it a dad bod at that point. It's more of just a barrel body. I mean, unless he just absolutely gets into shape in the last month of the summer and he's good to go, that dude doesn't look like he's going to score 5 goals, yet alone. What does he need for Gretzky's record? Like
44.
I don't know if he's getting it, man.
I mean, he has maybe a year left. I mean, he scored.
Robbie, I'm telling you, if you look at this, if you see this photo that I'm trying to find on the fly to send to you, like, this guy doesn't not only this. If this is the guy that catches Gretzky, I mean, it'll be studied for years. Oh my god, I can't. It's just not popping up. But I've seen it pop up multiple times over this. Oh, I found it.
Is it on Instagram?
I'm sending it to you right now. It's on Instagram.
Oh my. The caption is the Great 8 and it's ATE. Wow, he does look. Yeah, wow, that doesn't. I mean, he's always been a big body person, but like he just looks absolutely. Yeah, he definitely has been enjoying some brews and some bowls of pasta. That's for sure.
Dude, totally. And it's like, I mean, I can't really talk, but
neither can I. But I'm not a professional athlete trying to break one of the most prestigious records in the game either.
If you didn't know anything about hockey and you were like, that's the guy who's about to break Wayne Gretzky's record, would you just be completely shell-shocked at that?
I'd say that guy played in like the 80s. He probably like just rips off some cigs in the dressing room.
That guy looks like he would be your like local city's like bowling league champion.
Yeah, you can see like he has like the frame of an athlete, but no definition whatsoever.
Yeah, and you know, like these guys, here's another photo I'm about to send over to you. This was the other one of him playing pickleball. This is the one that I think got a lot of people a little bit alarmed too. I wish we had a way to post these on our streams, but basically what we're talking about here is if you're a Caps fan, Alex Ovechkin is not looking like.
Yeah, that one's actually a little more shocking than even the other one. Like it's the shirt. It's something with the shirt. Like
he just looks like he's wearing a weight vest under it.
Yeah, he looks like he has like a Kevlar, like a bulletproof vest under it. Yeah,
but
in Russia maybe Russian. He does. I don't know.
It's just Russian bod.
Yeah, that's definitely definitely. Yeah, wasn't expecting that for sure, but very interesting for show. But
so, as far as with the moves that we've seen, if this is it for the Penguins. And let's say that the power play is marginally improved. Let's say like that 30 to 40% improvement. Are the Red Wings going to push for? Are they still going to push? Do you feel like the Red Wings are going to be better than they were last year?
I think the Red Wings have the potential to be as good as they were last year.
Kind of just same.
Yeah, they haven't done anything that I would say has made them a better team. I think they're going to roll out roughly the same exact teams and different faces, but unless somebody really steps up again, and that's counting on Kane had a very good year when he came back. Is he going to be able to produce that same now a year older? I don't know.
Good point.
If he can, then yeah, they're going to push for a playoff spot. If not, I don't know.
Can you count on that Lucas Raymond guy to repeat what he did last year? Because he was like a man on fire at the end of the season.
Yeah, he scored like 8 goals against the Penguins in 3 games. It was pretty absurd or something like that. No, I think Raymond's legit. It wouldn't surprise me if he repeats that or even does a little bit better.
You kind of know what you're going to get in DeBrincat too.
Yeah, I mean DeBrincat had a good year, but is that his ceiling? Larkin is a known commodity. I don't know. I as of right now, I think they're the same team with different faces.
New Jersey, are they a playoff team next year?
I think you have to assume they're going to get better health and better goaltending with the moves they made. I definitely, at the very least, because I don't know what you're going to get out of the Rangers.
That was my next thing. Is it's like, are the Islanders, like, for some reason I'm not buying the Rangers next year. They might be in complete collapse.
Yeah, Rangers
maybe collapse is like exaggerating, but like this Trouba noise, this could be a big rift. Like that kind of stuff might, linger for a bit.
I mean, this is your captain, like, absolutely.
This is your captain. He got a lot of flack towards the end of the playoffs there from Rangers fans. They've got Fox and they've got Miller and they've got that Brodzinski or something. Like they've got some young defensemen. They've got that Gabe Perreault kid that's just waiting to get his shot with in the NHL.
Lafreniere is obviously taking that step he's obviously a legit player now. So he's there. They know that he's going to be able to provide that, and what you're getting in Shesterkin obviously as well. But again, you ticked off your captain. You don't know what the situation is going on there. So yeah, I don't know about the Rangers. Their weaknesses have not been addressed. Let's put it that way.
Weaknesses haven't been addressed. They don't have a ton of them, but they haven't been addressed. Mainly those big guys, Panarin and Zibanejad, seem to sort of disappear when the going gets tough. And then the Islanders, I always count them out every year. I'm like, they don't have what it takes to be a playoff team. And then they somehow sneak in or they get close. And
yeah,
I hate the Islanders. They're just so mid. They're mid.
So mid that it's annoying. Correct.
So mid that it's annoying. They have a great goaltender. Patty Waugh as a coach just doesn't really do it for me. I just feel like Lou Lamoriello likes to really just like kind of like edge himself into mediocrity. He's like, we can't have too many nice things, so let's just get that straight, and we will suffer because of it, but I will not make big splashes, and no one will be happy about it. So just looking at the Metro, it's like the Penguins, they need to just be a little bit better, and I could see them as a wild card.
Absolutely.
Hoping Ottawa doesn't. I think Ottawa's screwed again. I don't see them being a playoff team.
It's tough. Ottawa's tough to say. They're supposed to be their year like the last 3 years. So, yeah.
No, and they're out of it early on too. Like it's not like. But anyways, interesting not trade deadline, free agent frenzy as we call it. Do you think there's any more moves up Dubas' sleeve as the?
I think something's going to get done at some point.
What do you think that is?
I still think it's revolves around the goaltender.
I would put it at goaltender, and then I'm really curious about Vlad Tarasenko.
Yeah. I mean, they've reported that they have talked, so we'll see. You'd think that would be settled here sooner rather than later as a free agent.
For real.
All right. Snail, I don't got anything else. You got anything else?
Nope, that's all I got.
All right. That will wrap up this episode of the Skating Penguin Network. We are going to take the rest of this week off for the 4th of July, and so Snail can recover from whatever is ailing him at the moment. We will return next week, as always, with a mailbag, and then see what else comes down the line in terms of news. So look for that mailbag tweet to go out on Sunday. And as always, once the news dries up, we'll need some questions. So if you have any questions for the mailbag that can be answered farther on down the line, feel free to drop them as well. And we'll get to them later in the summer when we need some content to get out to you guys. So, Snail, I will let you go for this evening since you need to go rest and recover.
Go rest. Yes.
As for everybody else, have a great 4th of July. If you're a Canadian listener, too bad. If you are Edward over in England, thanks for the day off. We appreciate that. Andreas, Kim, enjoy your long week because I don't think you guys get the 4th of July off, unfortunately. And Brian, regular question listener Brian, enjoy your day off delivering mail on Thursday.
Oh yeah, he gets the day off. He'll probably go running.
He probably will because he's a sicko. But yeah, if you're an American listening to this, please enjoy your 4th safely. Don't do anything stupid. Make sure you have all your fingers. Enjoy your beers and whatever, hot dogs, hamburgers, whatever American food.
Are you going to have beers?
Yeah, I'll have beers. Are you going to have beers, assuming you feel better?
If I feel better, yes.
Yeah. So celebrate safely. If you are a non-American listener, LOL, enjoy your long week. We'll talk to you all next week.